Your book of the month, Cariona.
My book of the month is Marshall Goldsmith's Mojo. It builds very well on what we've just heard because again it's looking at where we get value, a sense of value and meaning from the world of work. So Marshall Goldsmith, just to give you a bit of background on him, he wrote the book that was very successful, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And that book, he would say, is about relationships and how to make relationships work better. And particularly he focuses, the world he works in is the high level coaching to the heads of the really, really big companies in the world. And he's a desperate name dropper. But he's very interested in successful people and how they view life. And the things that they would say are important are things like relationships, wealth, health, but also happiness and meaning. So if his last book was about relationships and how to make them better, Mojo is about the meaning and happiness part. So the word mojo, we're all using the word, but what does it actually mean? It originally comes, I think, from voodoo, and it would have been a magic charm. That's what mojo actually means. So it would have been imagining that somebody could put a hex on you, that they could have some sort of magical powers. But nowadays I think we use it more loosely to mean that extra pizzazz that people may have. And so also then we talk about losing it. And the reason I think this is a good book at the moment is because it's so difficult to keep your mojo at the moment. It's so difficult to keep your sense of direction because there's so much negative feedback coming back. So what's Mojo about then? He's constructed a sense of mojo that is really, it's his own, you know, it's not based on research or anything like that, but he would say that it's made up of achievement, that are we doing things that we feel are important in our lives. The first one then is also, it's about identity. If we, do we have a clear sense of who we are? Because if we don't have a clear sense of who we are, we can easily get battered very easily. So he gives the example of Duke Ellington, who, an extraordinarily successful musician, ended up being so unsuccessful in the middle of his career that he was playing at ice rinks, and how he still believed in his music, and so when an opportunity came along again, he was able to take off, and he gives that example. Simpler examples you might have about a sense of achievement and identity. Say on the road near where I live, there's two lollipop people on both sides of a dual carriageway. There's a little man who's about 76, and then there's a woman on the other side, and everybody wants to talk to the man, and he just, in that tiny task, bringing the person across the road, he's very interested in talking to you, he's very interested in, he loves going to that job, he's got loads of other things going on, and as I say, there's always banter around him, whereas the other person who brings you the last part doesn't talk to you at all, and she just does her job. And it's that piece that you need in organisations. We need it for ourselves, and he focuses very much on how to get it back for yourself. So the other two parts on Mojo are your reputation and managing your reputation, and then acceptance. Reputation is obviously how other people benchmark you, but your acceptance is possibly a concept that Covey would have talked about, that notion of letting go when things are really difficult, because we spend far too long looking at the negative rather than looking at the positive. So he has a game plan for us getting our mojo back, and he divides mojo into our professional mojo, which is what we bring to our work, say knowledge, and motivation, experience. That's what we bring to a task, and if we bring that with great vigour, that's one part of the story. But the other part has to also be in balance, and that's what we get from doing that job. So that while you might be absolutely brilliant and in the right job for you, in the context in which you're working, the environment could make that actually a negative experience, because say if you don't get a sense of reward through lack of recognition or whatever, that might still be the wrong fit. So he asks us to test whether we have that balance there, and he gives us lots of ways of sense checking how it is we're going about our lives, so that we're really in the right fit. So that's Mojo.
Very good, thank you.
Is he saying